Hello again, this is the course of Information System Development, and let's continue with the next section. We already did the simple REST framework with the library in Python, Django REST framework. And in this video, I would like to explain to you how can we use the XML and JSON with feeder and Ajax. So I will explain a little bit about the Ajax, what is Ajax, and how can we apply Ajax in Django. So you will learn what is Ajax, how can we parse. So we will learn one library, fit parser. We will parse the JSON, and we will do the JSON external view, and we will do the basic Ajax. What is Ajax? In the definition, Ajax means asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So you already learned JavaScript. Okay, you learn what is XML. We want to match the JavaScript and the XML, and Ajax is the way to correlate between those two. So Ajax is not a programming language, but it uses a combination. Okay, the combination of a browser built-in XML HTTP request object, which is to request the data from a web server, and we need to use the JavaScript and HTML DOM, so data object model. It is to display or it is to use the data. Ajax is a developer's dream. Okay, so some of the website they mentioned that this is something that you need to learn. Why? Because it will update the page without reloading the page. Whenever you have your website and if you want to update your web, you need to load it. Okay, Ajax will not do that one. So you just load a partial page, and it can request the data from a server after the page has loaded, and it can receive the data from server after the page has loaded. It can send the data to a server in the background. So this one of the very uh, convenient way to deal with the data exchange. For example, if you have your browser and the Ajax will connect to your server through internet via the XML HTTP request. So it's not using the backend that you usually do, but it uses the XML HTTP request. And how can we do this one? Yeah, we will learn later. And before we do that one, we need to understand what is the meaning by parse. Okay, what is parsing? Okay, parsing means I want to read and write the file. You learn the basic idea of read and write in the first part of this chapter. You can write XML file, you can write a JSON file, you can read JSON, you can read XML, and you can change the format into other relevant format. So I give you one website to convert the XML and the JSON, and those way it can be also done in the website. Parsing method is necessary to view the file XML or JSON in a representative way. We need to understand how can we parse XML or how can we parse the JSON and how can we convert. Okay, we want to convert those two files like the JSON to XML and XML to JSON. And parsing is also another way, it's also a term to use for showing the result to the HTML or something related with the table. So let's see. We need to update the views.py in the folder post. Let's use this one. Okay. In this case, I would like to update the views.py. Where is the views.py? Yeah, this one. Okay. So at the first time we are using the REST framework, let's just change this one. Okay. So now I'm using the JSON, not using the REST framework, but Yeah, we are doing with another way. Oh yeah, if you want to keep this one, that's also fine. Yeah, but yeah, it depends later. So this is the code, and after you have that one, let's make one more line, but in this case we are using the urls.py. Oh yeah, sorry, this is the urls.py here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I have the error here. What is the error? Oh yeah, I need to add this one, views JSON view. Okay, so whenever you use the JSON, yeah, I want to access the method JSON view. Okay, this is the JSON view. Okay, this is the path that you want to access, but let's see what is the path here. Is it is related to the so it is related to the JSON that you already have before. Okay, so it is the related with the testing data. Okay, the testing data before you already created this one. Let's see what will happen if you access this one into the web. So get this one and then show it in the web. Oops. There is no such file directory. I have the basic res, this one. Oh, in this case, wait. I guess I need to, okay, I need to delete this part. Okay, it is double, I guess. So just delete this part. So just using the testing data, because the testing data is here, so I don't need to use this basic res, because it will go to the second part of this basic res. So just delete this one and let's run. Oh, okay. Yeah, it happens. Okay, now you can see the book. This is the JSON that you already created at the first part of this PPT. Okay, and you can see your JSON. So this is actually your data. Okay, so you don't need to create your database. If you want to use your database, yeah, that is fine. But you can also use the JSON to store your data. The problem will be something related with the security, because you cannot handle the security if you can share the file in your folder, then anyone can access your computer. But in your database, that might be more secure. Of course, there's a trade-off. Okay. Now, if I want to use the feeder method, what is feeder method? So feeder method means I want to use something. I want to use fit. When I use the JavaScript, then I can put all the data into the HTML. Okay, so that's why we call this as the feeder. So before we continue, I'm suggesting you to install this one. So it is pip install feed parser. Yeah, it takes some time to install those items. Okay, so while we're waiting with this installation, you need to add more code in the views.py. So this is the fit parser. Okay, in the views.py. Yeah. Oops. I guess I need to wait because yeah. So yep, I guess it's already done, and then I can do this one. So in this case, I would like to use this fit Okay, what is this feed? So if you go to the internet, you will check this feed. Yeah, it is an XML. Okay, so someone just create this XML and you want to get this XML. Now, what we can do next is to access this feed and then we want to show it. And yeah, of course, I know this feed and I want to call using the Python file. And after I know these feeds, I'm using the feed parser and I want to show it in the viewFeed.html. So what is viewFeed.html? Oh, maybe after this one, I will show you how can we do the ESPN. So the next will be something related to viewFeed. Okay. So let's use the viewFeed in the URLs. You can just put comma viewFeed and then you will have the next line. You want to show the viewFeed. This viewFeed will be related with the feed that you get from the particular path. And after you have this link, now you want to make the HTML file. Yeah, I'm not going to make a full HTML file. So this is only the partial of the list. Yeah. So it's just an example. Of course, if you want to make a good HTML file, it will show a very complicated code. So in this case, I don't want to put high effort to make this one. So the templates here is the HTML file, and then what's its name? viewfit.html. Okay, viewfit.html, and after you have this one, just change this into here. After you have the HTML file, you can show. So viewfit here is the oops. Can I use this one? I guess I need to use this one. Maybe this one. Okay. Oops. Oh, I forgot that I need to put the API. Okay. Yep. So you can see I think this is from the blog. Okay. It shows the data here. Where is it? Yeah. It shows the data here. It is the blog from this guy. And I think he is not, yeah, he has an updated blog. It was updated on 18 May. I think it was last week. And yeah, you want to show, yeah, I need to do this one, API viewfit. So you want to show the information from this feed, and yeah, you want to make it into the HTML. Of course, you can show like this one, and then if you click this one, then it will go to the link from this guy. Okay. And of course, this kind of parsing, it will be very easy to use if you are going to access the particular web without giving one by one. Okay. If you use this, okay, you need to copy this one and then you put into the HTML tag. Okay, so of course it will be a tedious. When you use this kind of view fit, it will be much easier. Of course, you need to check the fit link. Now, let's see if I change this into the ASPN one. Okay, so I would like to use this. Yeah, I want to use this. Use from the ESPN. Oh, I have this one. Yeah, I just close this one and then I open the other one. Okay, and then let me relate. Oops. Yeah, Now you can see this is the result from the ESPN. TBT to proceed the testing. Yes, this is from the ESPN. Wow, wonderful. We can see something from the ESPN and with just one click because we already have the feed news. So that's the way from the perspective of the feed parser. Okay. So if you have the link from the ESPN, you will see that one. So most of the news feed will provide the same XML structure. So if you have the same XML structure, it will be easier for you to access that one. In general, each domain will have its own specification. So it different from one domain to another domain. For example, if it is about food, of course, the attribute name and other things, it will be related to the food. And you need to understand the fit in the food domain, okay? So you can also show the JSON. Yeah, and in that, the previous chapter, we learned about the XML. Okay, so in this case, we are using the view fit from the XML. And how if we are making, how if we are using the JSON? So there are many JSON publicly available, just the same as the newsfeed using XML. And JSON is more general and usually comes with their own specification. Let's say if you want to use this one, okay, this one is the data set with the, can I choose this one? Yeah, there are many just data set like this on coin. Yeah, this okay, this is one data. Crimes at location. I can access it. Yeah, some of them has been terminated. Okay. Yeah, you can see this is another JSON. Okay, this is very interesting. If you can access this one, then you can show it in your web, like what you already did for the XML. Yeah, you can use this external file. Okay, maybe you can try to use this one also for your team project. Okay, so the JSON external view in this example, I would like to use two things. First is how can we use the Ajax, the asynchronous JavaScript and XML, and the other is I'm going to use the data table. So let's try one by one. Okay. So the data table means something related with the tools. If you go to this data table, so it is a tool that you can use. So this is the tool available in the internet, and it will show you the good table just by collecting the CDN, the content delivery network. So I guess you still remember when we use the bootstrap. Okay? So when we create the bootstrap, we use the JavaScript file from the internet and then we just apply it in our HTML file. The same with that one, we can use this data table editor, just call the CSS, just call the JS, and then you can reuse and you can create this kind of beautiful table. So the things now, yeah, we are making the data tables is free. Okay. Yeah, I like something which is free. Okay, you don't need to pay at all for this one. So what we want to do is I want to make something into a data table. So this something is related with the data that you get from database or the data that you get from the JSON, the data that you get from XML and anything. So the data source can be anything. Okay. Now let's assume I have the JSON view. Okay. So let's add more. This one in the views.py. In the views.py, let's make one more function, view JSON. Okay, and then we will create later view JSON.html. And okay, I'm making a new function in the URLs. Okay, and then I need to create one more link in the, so I, yeah, for this one I just want to show you by adding one line by one function to another function. Yeah, because it's easy to see the method here. And yeah, after you have to let's make this JSON view JSON.html. Okay, I will make this one in the template. So here I will make this one view JSON.html. Oops. Oops. Ah, not py. I make the py one. Oh. So the HTML file view JSON. Yeah, that's why it's so strange. Why there are so many errors. Now I have this view JSON. I use the Ajax with the jQuery. I use this CDN data tables and CDN data tables with the jQuery. And I want to access this data table from the example. Okay. Now if you run, let's see. If you run this one into your code, yeah, you can get the table. The table shows the title. Okay, you can easily sort, and then you have the date. You can easily also sort and publisher. Okay, so what is this about? Actually, this is the HTML file that you use. Did I put the explanation here? Yeah. So this explanation try to show you how to use the simple data table, and this data table is from the data that we already have in our computer. Okay, so we are using the JSON, and the JSON source will appear on the web. So here the example, okay, what is the example? It will be the example of the ID, and if you check this example, it is from the ID example. Okay, so you need to put the shop. Yeah, I cannot explain many things, but yeah, now just notice that the shop is one of the information that you get from the HTML. So here is the key example, and I want to put it into the data table. So this is the table from the HTML, and then I want to put this data table into this table. Okay, and I'm using the Ajax, and in this case, you know, the JSON view. Okay, do you still remember? Yeah, I just changed the word JSON view JSON. Okay, yeah, I should use the good name. So this is the JSON view. Okay, after you have your JSON, then it will be easier for you to manage. How? Yeah, of course, when you know the this is the JSON view, and then what is the data source? I'm using book. Okay, so if you check this one, book, yeah, book is the string that is available in the JSON. And after I have the book information, so all the books will be here. Now all the data will be assigned to title, to date, and publisher. So that's why only those three data are available. Okay. So we have title, author, publisher. Yeah, because we have only three, so we define like this one: title, date, and publisher. Data table here is the function that is from the data table that I showed you before. Here is the JSON source, this is the local host, and then this is the parent key, and this is the children key. Now, can we modify the external JSON to something like link? Okay, so I show you this one. This is the other JSON file. Ooh, very cool. So this JSON is about the movie. Okay. Now, if you have this JSON, how can you handle this? Okay, there are too many, so complex. Okay, of course you need to understand the structure, and it's not that easy. If you see this, of course you will check what kind of data that you want to use. Most of the time, it is difficult to understand the structure. So we need to acquire the data dictionary or schema to understand the entire data. So that's why when you try to scrap something or you want to extract the data, yeah, you need to understand. Or yeah, if you don't understand at all, then at least you understand what are the key or the tag that you can get. So here, let's replace something. In this URL, okay, in this URL, you need to replace the link. Okay. You need to replace the link here. And after you have this link, I guess I need to update many. Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess I will just copy. Just copy all. This one will be easier because if you change one by one, it will be so tedious. Okay, after you have this, and then, okay, let's run. Oh, yep, I still have. So the first is title, date, and publisher. But now let's see. Yeah, it shows different. Okay, now we have ID and then the title and then the language and the date. So I think the date, the expired date. Okay, so you can sort and you can choose the language and you can choose the title or the ID. So you can go to the next page and so on. Okay. Now, if I have the if I know the JSON and then I already show the JSON into the HTML file, yeah, we are using the data table. Of course, if you want to use your own data table or if you want to just show the list, then it's up to you. But now, how if I want to view the REST or the rest? So let's go to the view again. So here, just giving one more. And then, yeah, I need to have one more view rest. And then don't forget to add the view rest in the part of the URLs. Yeah, if you don't put this one, it will be error because it requires to access this one. Okay, and after I finish with that, yeah, this is oh, oh yeah, because I need to get the new one, I guess. Oh, we are okay. Yeah, we are making the view rest, and then this one is the view rest.html. Okay, I I I forgot this one. So we are making the view rest HTML. Okay, and yeah, after you have the view rest.html, you can try. This one is the view JSON, and this is the data of JSON. Yeah, we have the view rest. What is it? So we are using the REST framework. The REST framework is from the data that you already got before. This is about the API. This is the REST framework that you already did before. Okay, so you're using this API. So this is the API. It means, yeah, you can handle many things from the XML. You can handle from JSON. You can use also from the REST framework. And those are the data. And you can do the data exchange from the XML, from JSON, and then you already learned the Django REST framework, and you learn a little bit about the Ajax, okay, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So maybe in the next video we will learn more advanced approaches. Of course, I cannot give you all the things in one semester, but I hope that you enjoy with this lecture. And the things that you need to do now is the team project. So I will explain more details about the team project in the e-class, and please keep following what I want to say in the e-class. Thank you very much for listening. See you on the next video.